I'm Anitra Stone. I've been tatting since January 1st, 1980. It's one of the few New Year's resolutions that I've kept in my life. My mom tried to teach me when I was about 10. I did not have the coordination, could not grasp the concept of what was going on, but was finally able to figure it all out on New Year's Day. And I've been tatting ever since. At the time I started, I had 2 books, and my mother was extremely creative and tried to encourage me from the very beginning to come up with my own designs, come up with my own patterns. And after she saw that I was really getting into it, that's when she dove into the closet underneath the stairs and did not come out with Harry Potter, but came out with stacks and stacks and stacks of workbasket magazines that she had saved from the 1950s. And so that just kind of fueled the fire. I get my ideas from any and everywhere. I've got Post-it notes that I will sketch out little ideas on and then expand upon them when I get home. If I see something interesting, I'll take a picture of it either with the camera or with my phone, and I'll springboard off of other designs, and I'll springboard off of my own designs. So I've come up with one snowflake, and I'll turn to my husband and go, what's my next step on this, or what's my next progression on this? And he'll go, well, try such and such. And then I'll do that, and then that will inspire me to take another tangent on it. This little series of birds that I did several years ago came about because I was working on Anne Ruvold's Micro Dragon and dropped it in my lap and it landed sideways. And I said, with a little bit of tweaking, I can turn that into a hummingbird. And from there sprung the other birds. So inspiration is everywhere. Open your eyes, open your mind. Bring a sketchbook with yourself, bring a Post-it note, take pictures, and don't be afraid to let things ferment in the back of your mind. Some things take longer than others, but ideas are everywhere. Use them.
Do we have any questions from the audience? Oh, come on. Vicki.
What's your favorite design you've done? What's the favorite thing you've designed?
What's the favorite thing you designed?
Or that's moved you the most, that you're the most wild by?
Spot.
For me, I think it's my little hummingbird, because I think I've gotten more inspiration and more springboard off of that.
My brother asked me to make a sperm whale. And it had to be massive, it had to have bulk, it had to have weight, but it had to be lace. It was a challenge. I did it once, and I think we can replicate it. If Vicki comes, we'll do a whale weekend, and we will try to replicate. But I tried it a second time. It's all length of bare thread, or what do I want to say, inverted picots joining them. So it's the length of your picot that designates his mass. So it's kind of, yeah. That was fun.
Okay, well, I'm not good at quantifying, picking a favorite, but one I've been thinking about fondly recently is if you think about Mary Conior's freestyle tatting in the Visual Patterns book, I had a heart in that style way back early 2000s in the Tat Days book. And so it's kind of freestyle, it's kind of asymmetrical, and it's nice to do something asymmetrical sometimes. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to pick. I'd have to say right now it's probably what I'm working on right now. So I'm in this isometric or mathematical or cubic mode right now. And it's all about putting colors and blocks of color together to kind of trick your eye into a 3D thing. Right now I'm working on a piece that's going to be probably 2 feet wide and well, maybe 2 feet high and 3 feet wide. I don't know, it's pretty big in light gray, black, and yellow. And it's all about the perspective. It's very irregular. I had to order in the thread from England, so I have some financial investment into it. So, but I was that devoted. So I'm in the process of working on that right now. So.
Probably my daughter Kylie got married a few years ago, and I made all the lace for the wedding. And you know in your mind what you want it to look like, and to comb through hundreds and probably thousands of vintage patterns and put together little bits and pieces to get that little edging exactly the way you want it to be with the seed pearls and the beads. And so that was probably it. So I made her veil, I made the flower girl's gloves, I made her garter belt, and she wanted lace on her cake. So she had a square cake, round cake, square cake, round cake, and I did, it was like 5.5 feet, 4.5 feet, 3.5 feet, 2.5 feet, long edging to go around the cake. So that was really it.
I've got some patterns I've designed that I have worked once, twice, and I haven't touched them. And I've got other patterns that I have gone back to and re-tatted, added again. Oh, this is a different thread. Let's try and see how it looks in this. As for a favorite, or one that challenges me the most, I think it's probably the next one coming down the pipeline, because the heads just keep on coming.
My most favorite thing that I ever tatted was the first double stitch that flipped.
Okay, in the back. You have to stand up so it projects.
How do you know that your design is original?
How do you know your design is original?
Because I don't know. Because it's not from anything but my own imagination.
I asked Georgia.
I have a lot of books. I usually try and look and make sure first.
I'd have to say, I've been so busy. I work full-time, and then I spend all my time messing around with my design work and tatting it up, that I've honestly kind of lost track with the whole internet world. I don't hang out on a lot of forums. And that's kind of on purpose so that I'm not tainted by things too. So I kind of feel that when I do come up with something, it is mine.
Well, the more elaborate it is, or if it's using a special technique, I'm pretty safe. If it's something a little more basic, I'll do a search for images, and then I'll ask Jane and Sue Hansen.
I was caught in that. I had tatted something that I embellished years ago, and someone liked it and said, "Hey, show me how to do it." And I thought it was, well, I had no clue when I made it. I thought, well, probably my idea. Okay. And then as I was looking, I was aghast. Ah, there it is. But it had my embellishing to it. But once I realized that the original tatted part really wasn't, I looked at someone else's, liked it so much, I added my things to it. I gave the originator credit, and always will. You can get caught up very easily with what you make, thinking that, oh, this was my pattern, and not ever knowing, because the years go by, you don't know it's not. So if that happens, that's normal, but in any chance you get, give the creator credit. It's fine. It's a good thing. As far as creating, like if you do scan the internet and you do look at books, I love to do both of those. I love to. Lots and lots and lots of changes. Use an element or use a portion, maybe the beginning row that you like of someone's. but make it the rest yours, okay? Stop looking at that and just allow the picots to, join the picots, allow your stitch. So allow others to motivate you, inspire you, but use a little bit and move into a great amount that is all yours.
Number one? Yeah.
I do search a lot on the internet, but I am not afraid to ask Georgia or Jane or Sue Hansen, have you ever seen this pattern before or something like it? And as you said, you've got to give credit to the folks that inspired you. So when I came up with the hummingbird, I very humbly and sheepishly emailed Ann Bruvold and said, I hope you don't mind, but your dragon has inspired me to create this bird, and I'm looking to you for your blessing. And she was very gracious and very kind about it. And I had even embellished her dragon a little bit by putting a bead in for the eyes, so it looked a little bit more lifelike, I guess would be a nice way of putting it. And again, she was very, very good about that and very open-minded about that. And I think if we all approach any designer or any author with that and say, you've inspired me, here's what I've come up with, it's only going to bolster everyone. And that's the point.
Next question. Stand up. Do you use any type of software or graphic program when you're designing? Because they've got, I know there's one free for download where it, does the rings and it does the chain. So do you do any type of graphics when you design?
I do not, but I'll let the others speak for themselves. Pass the mic.
I do not.
Design stage, I'm just scribbling on paper. The computer diagrams come at the very end, after the design is done.
I do. Well, not the traditional design programs like you would think. Mine are all circles. All my split rings are circles. So I draw it up on graph paper. I always have graph paper with me. And then I take that into Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, and I use that to, I have all kinds of, I have a grid where they snap to the grid. I've got this all, kind of designed up. And then I make my circles and I have all the different colors and I can put colors together and I can manipulate them that way. And so I do a lot of designing, get some basic ideas, and then I go to the computer and I manipulate them around. Oh, if I turn it this way. So my design work is a lot easier than the traditional ring chain approach with that. And I say my stuff is all mathematical too, so it's real easy to, I don't have to, or what if I move the picot just one double space, I don't have to mess with that. Mine are all geometric math. So.
I do not use any type of computer program. I'm computer stupid. It's smarter than I am. I see it in my head first and then try to figure out how to make it.
I use computers for lots of stuff, but not for design work.
What's a computer? True that, absolutely.
He barely answers it.
No. Emails, yes, that I have to have direction.
All right, any other questions?